And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for tonight's premiere episode of Star Wars: The Acolytes, episode 1 and 2. That's right, The Acolytes has finally dropped. Now, we've seen the trailers. We're not exactly sure what the heck this show's about, but some people think it was kind of cheesy. Some people think it was kind of like weird. But this show takes place 100 years before any of the Empire stuff, or any of the the main Star Wars timeline, if you will. So it's 100 years before it, and it tells a story of a young girl named Osha. She's a former Padawan. She's now doing her own thing. Something happens where a Jedi gets killed, and now Osha is basically suspect number one. Her old master shows up to try to, figure out like what the heck is going on and why she's doing this, and try to bring her in for questioning and bring the justice. Okay, so that's basically. I'm gonna try to make this as simple as I can to not spoil anything. So when I spoil something, I'm gonna keep my hand up like this, and then when I put it down, then that's the end of the spoiler. But anyway, for right now, no spoilers. So the first two episodes start off pretty strong, which I enjoyed. Showing us the new character, showing us who she is as a person. She's kind of a rebel. It kind of reminded me of what Ahsoka went through when she got framed for a crime that she never committed, and she went off and tried to unaccuse herself for the criminal, and then the Jedi had to go after her. Kind of in the same vein here, Osha is just a young girl just trying to do her thing. Yes, she's a former Padawan. She has the Jedi skills, but she doesn't use it anymore. She doesn't want to be involved in that. She had a tragic story in her background before she became a Jedi apprentice. And after she gave that up, she just wants to be left alone. But like I said, something happens where a Jedi dies, and she becomes suspect number one. She's on the run. She gets questioned by her master, and then her and the master got to figure out who's really behind it. There's also a mysterious Sith Lord, but we're not really sure he's a Sith Lord yet. He does wield a red lightsaber. He is wearing black, obviously. That's a traditional Sith Lord look, but he hasn't been called Sith Lord. We just don't know who he is yet. We saw him once. We didn't really get to see much of him yet, but we will. Okay. So, the actress who's playing Osha, she's actually the young girl who played Rue from Hunger Games. Amanda Stafford. I probably butchered that, and I apologize. She was great. I enjoyed her character. She's got that, tomboy, rough, I don't give a crap about anybody, I do my own kind of thing, kind of attitude. So that was pretty cool. She won me over so quickly, and that's a good thing. You want your main character to be likable or to be hated, but yet you want to have sympathize for that character. So good job on that. Okay, so here's my main spoiler. So here it comes. When it goes down, then unspoiler. She has a twin sister. We find out in the second episode 2, her twin sister is basically the one going after these former Jedis who attacked their village years ago when they were, I guess, children, and she wants revenge. And she's got some Force sense style stuff too, but she's also, is very trained with it as well. So she's basically very dangerous, and she's the one committing all these crimes. And it's played by the same actor as well. So, okay. So now that the spoilers are over, that was the main spoiler. It's the first two episodes, so I had to really do it. Okay, so for what I liked about these two episodes was the fact that we got something we never really get from Star Wars, and that was not mentioning a lot of things that we've seen in the past Star Wars, which kind of made it fresh and new, especially for fans who are kind of new to Star Wars, who want to like start fresh, have never seen the movies or never seen the other shows. It really felt new and fresh. So I applaud that. So that was good. It wasn't like, here's a cameo of C-3PO, here's a cameo of Yoda or whoever. None of that stuff happened. But just saying, if that did happen, then, it's kind of like, Lucasfilm and Star Wars and Disney are trying to, throw down all the nostalgia stuff that we've seen already and down our throats for new shows. You want to build new characters without having to rely on the old stuff. So that's a good start. The actor who plays the Master, he was great. He's the actor from Squid Games, if you guys remember. He was great. I really wish I knew the actor's name, and I don't want to butcher his name, so he was great. I liked his look. We have Daphne King in here, who's X-23, if you guys know. She's a young Padawan as well. She joins the journey with the master, with Osha's former master, to try to pursue her sister in this pursuit. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was very, like I said before, very fresh, very something new. The combat stuff in here was really, really good. The story felt like, typical kind of like a fugitive kind of a story, but it's in Star Wars and it felt fresh, so I enjoyed that. So that was a good thing. Characters were really likable, so there's that. None of them want to kind of like get this guy off my screen or girl off my screen kind of a thing, but they felt fresh and new, so that's something. They weren't trying to act like somebody else that we know from the other Star Wars stuff, so that's a good sign. Combat was good, the story was good. I think my only negative so far about these 2 episodes, and this could be for the rest of the show, I just don't know, it felt cheap. Not like in a like they just felt like it filmed in like a backyard or anything. It just felt like it didn't feel like Star Wars in a way where Star Wars spends a lot of money with their visual effects. The visual effects felt normal, like sci-fi action packed kind of a thing. And I hate to say this, but sometimes it might feel a good thing or a bad thing, depends on how you think about it. Kind of felt CW in a way, and normally that's not a bad thing, but it just kind of threw me off because Star Wars is mostly spend the budget on all the CG, the grand scale for Star Wars. We all know Star Wars is the king when it comes to sci-fi, although Dune's started to pass that, but this show didn't feel that. It felt very grounded in its cinematography and all that stuff, and it felt simple. And there's a word I like. Yeah, I'll use that. It felt very simple with it, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. But I'll get used to it. But the story was cool. Story caught my eye. I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen next. Finding out who this new Sith dude is, or girl, whoever, and see how that story plays out. I also like the fact that these guys and girls all have these like Star Wars lightsabers that don't feel like lightsabers. They feel like lightsabers that you get in Disney World. Like, how you can build your own lightsaber in the Disney parks? Kind of like that. I kind of like that. That was actually cool. You had one guy, he had his lightsaber was all yellow. That was pretty cool. But yeah, so it wasn't traditionally the red, blue, and green that we usually see. Finally give us something new, something fresh. But yeah, it ended with the sister finding her other sister, and she letting her go. Master finds out, and then it just ends right there. And then of course we're gonna find out that she's gonna go after one of the Wookiee Jedis, so that's gonna be interesting for next week's episode. But we have to wait for us. We get to see 4 episodes of when it first premieres, kind of people. We have to wait till next week. But for the good part, it was pretty good. I'm excited to see more. I'm just excited to see Star Wars again. Look, when Star Wars is on its A game, it's awesome. Like Andor. Andor is just perfect Star Wars television. Mandalorian's fun. It kind of dropped the ball a little bit in the 3rd one, and we're not gonna talk about Obi-Wan and Boba Fett, and Ahsoka was okay. But this show, so far, not bad. Hopefully, it continues to be pretty good, and maybe it can go down as a pretty good show. And that's all we want for Star Wars. We want Star Wars to succeed on television, because, we don't have it in the movies yet. We have to wait till 2025 or 6 or whatever it is for it to come back to the big screen. But for right now, that's all we have. But, yeah, give it a shot. See if you like it. If you don't, that's cool. Don't worry about it. Still cartoons we have coming, and still have to watch repeats, and of course the movies as well. But yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Are you guys excited for the Accolade? Saw the trailer and thought, nah, not my cup of tea? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what your problem is it with the trailer or what the first 2 episodes is. Leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much and have a good night.